there's so many questions around cycles. Like a lot of people have been told or heard, and maybe at the backyard barbecue, or a kid's birthday party around a market cycle, and property market cycles move in like 10 years or whatnot. I guess let's bust some myths and come up with some, share some realities with people around those. So, like, what are some of the common myths that you've heard getting thrown around property market cycles, and property doubles every average of 10 years, and all these sorts of things?
Yes, yes. Well, I mean, everyone's got an opinion, and it's how far back you want to track the market. I, I personally, I'm a believer that we do see there's multiple cycles in a larger cycle. So you can look at, from a commodities point of view, they've got a 30 to 60 year cycle. You've got the political cycle, which is a 4 year cycle, which also affects the property cycle as well. But from where I like to look at it is, it's a combination of everything. So property, the values, like a lot of people's money is held in the value of land. So you think about it from a psychological basis. When property prices are going up, people can see the values of their assets, which is property is generally most people's largest asset that own a home. And when they go up, people feel wealthier, so they're more inclined to spend. And when prices are going up, it's a sign that the economic conditions in that nation are doing quite well. So you get this confidence boost, and then you'll start to see things. You'll get the doomsdayers coming out, and then the media shifts from a positive vibe into a cautious market's peaking. And then it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy, because if people are constantly looking at the media in that sense, like, they're a private enterprise, right? So there's an agenda behind what they're selling to you in a way. Like, it's all free to wear stuff. You got to start questioning yourself, well, what are they trying to achieve here? And because they have such a big impact on the Australian psyche, it does affect property prices, But in reality, that's where, that boots on the ground, doing it every single day, you see what's actually going on. And for the past few years, I've seen the media pumping the property market and then telling everyone it's going to fail. And now they're back into pumping it again. And the whole time I've seen markets rising, just in certain parts. Like,
Mm-hmm.
So, 18 months ago, Sydney was, it pulled back 10% on average. And in their mind, it was like the world's ending. And they're only focusing on your Sydney and your Melbourne markets. So they're obviously your two largest markets. But it does peter out through the rest of the nation. And we say that there's markets within markets. So there's other micro cycles, like, say, the Gold Coast has its own cycle compared to Brisbane. But all in all, they're kind of all they're more closely linked, the Brisbane Gold Coast cycle compared to the Sydney cycle. But understanding how it all works is really important. And Sydney, because it is the largest market, as well as the Melbourne market, they tend to lead that growth cycle, or where it comes. So we're seeing now, I've been sort of talking to people about Sydney market, get into it now, and don't be afraid to pay those prices, because the market's lifting. And this is the whole point of, obviously, the podcast, is what I want to talk about. Is this is relevant for commercial and residential properties, is if you're buying into a market that is showing signs of growth, your purchasing power is getting diminished every single day that you're not in that market. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's interesting, like, in just my personal property journey and watching the property market, I've noticed that when the fear mongering or the fear media is out there, and this is what the wisest investor in the world, Warren Buffett says, it's better to be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful, in terms of, like, invest when, he says, also invest when there's blood in the streets, sort of thing. And when the media turns to a narrative of, oh no, it's all going to be super bad, typically that's the best time to buy, because people are selling at, and this is very typical, this is not financial advice, but they're selling at a lower price, and you can pick up a really good deal at, a good part of the cycle.